Okay, Muffin here with Rock Your Socks. I need to get into the next topic concerning what your long term goals should be as a free to play low spender in the game. Alright, you're working constantly towards your armament's end game, which is getting a great inscription, getting good stats on a specific troop type. As you're going towards that goal, you're going to gain some things along the way. And some of these things are going to be like these blueprint choice chests that I was talking about in the previous video. You can acquire these from specific events when you get chests from your Soroli Crisis, Ian's Ballads. But we're going to get these from a different area primarily. So I talked briefly about not spinning wheels and using your gems more wisely. Alright, so when Rise of Kingdoms updated the equipment to have iconic tiers, your goal should be in KVKs to get iconic crystals. So as a free-to-play low spender, you're going to have like specific requirements to get iconic crystals. So like right here, you want to get 4 million kills and you'll get an iconic crystal. Alright, if you are lucky enough to get to 15 million kills, you'll get another iconic crystal. So that is your goal in KVKs. And maybe the 15 million kill mark is not realistic for you currently, but we will get you there because we are playing a long-term game here. So this is what players have not adapted well to with the iconic tier levels. So as a free-to-play low spender, you're basically running out there, you're putting your best marches that you have out there, and most of the time you are just getting destroyed. Alright, so you want to focus more when you're going out in KVK and your fights. You want to focus more on a support role. So you're going to run, like I said, 3, lucky if you have 4 marches. Alright, because right now you should have some commander's expertise, some close to being expertise, but we're going to put commanders on the back burner. Alright, when you're accruing your gems, you should be gathering gems with your main account and using your farms to gather your food, wood, stone, gold, whatever resource that you think you will need. Alright, so usually when I do my farm accounts, I'll send them out twice a day, sometimes 3, sometimes 4, if I don't have a lot going on in my personal life. But let's face facts here. Everyone's got a lot going on in their personal life. But this is what you should do with your farms. So you wake up, you log into the game, you go into your farms. You should send them out your first time. Get a wood, get a food, get a stone, get a gold node. Have one in the gold pit. Alright. Log in later, send them out to all gold nodes, because we are going to need gold for this next step. So now let's jump forward in time where you have been enacting the plan for the armaments and you're starting to get good inscriptions or great inscriptions and good stats or great stats on your armaments. Now this is what we are going to work towards. Alright, so I highly suggest that you go in and you look at these equipments. So like right here, you look at each of these equipments and they have different iconic tier levels. So when you come down and let's say, look at this. So, alright, so when we go in here, you see this bonus here, the Shattering Strike. That's not really what we're focused on. All right. A lot of people put emphasis on getting troop capacity. A lot of players don't have what you call a high VIP level, which would be like 17, 18. All right. So what you need to be focused on is this unit capacity and level 2 here. All right, a lot of these level 2s on these iconics are great. So like on the gloves for the archer set, we're going to have enemy attack ignored. All right, so most players won't be lucky enough to get a crit. I highly suggest you are not refining to get a crit. All right, when you talk about the grand scheme of things, how much it's going to cost you as a free-to-player to refine a piece of equipment 4 times, it is not worth the reward. It just is not. So do not worry about critting. That is not going to be your role. Your role and your goal should be to go out there and field fight to the maximum efficiency for your account. So right here, we want to focus on the level 2s. Most of these level 2s have some kind of enemy attack ignored or giving you health. Something great where a lot of your level 1s aren't going to be that amazing. All right, so what you want to look at when you're going to increase iconic tiers on your equipment is first getting increase to damage, damage ignored, enemy health debuff. All right, stuff like that. Like, we really want to key on those pieces. So, say you're getting armaments with great inscriptions or good inscriptions with good or great stats, right? That's when we want to start looking at the equipment for that unit type. So by now in the game, most people have some good armaments with good inscriptions. Very unlucky people don't. But with the system that we're running here, when it comes to armaments, you will have them. And as you're slowly obtaining these, you're accumulating your equipment choice chests. And we are talking about legendary here. We're not talking about epic. It's all legendary. All right, so you're going to accumulate these chests. And over time, you're going to have something like this where you have 37 blueprint pieces for a specific slot for your equipment. So now you're getting those armaments that we talked about. And what you need to be focused on is why we are not spinning the wheel right now. All right, so I suggest every other week, if a new commander comes out, spin the wheel, get the unlock, let it sit there for now. We are playing a long-term game, and we are not going to focus on wheels until our account is in a position where we should be spinning wheels, which we will get to in the third part. So right now, when they changed the equipment to iconic tier levels, it put value in something that was not valued in the game at all. Most players never even looked at it. You were told, do not do this, do not do this, do not do this. I am telling you, do this. All right? Because you are going to need blueprint patterns to increase your iconic tier levels on the pieces of equipment that are going to benefit your march. And the only way we're going to do that is not just by doing Ceroli or Ian's Ballads and getting lucky and sometimes getting one piece here, one piece there. You could get some, if you're a low spender, you get some pieces sometimes in Lucerne Scrolls. But really, we are going to be pounding the VIP shop. So until you have your armaments, don't do this. But once you have armaments for a troop type, we are going to go in and we are going to do this. So you'll come down here and you see at certain VIP levels, which you should be at these levels if you've been active and you've been playing, you should be able to get these blueprint choice chests. So you'll come in here and it's 10,500 gems a week. So that's why we need to be gathering gems, hoarding our gems, because we are going to need up to 60, maybe even 90 blueprint choice chests to get to that iconic level 2. Once we get to the iconic level 2 for a specific piece, we could stop. But the reason why people said not to get these is because you didn't know what blueprint fragment you were going to get. But now, since we get benefits until you're up to tier 5. Once you start getting past like tier 3 on specific pieces of equipment, which is way down the road, right? Then we need to stop and readjust and quit buying these chests. But if you're going in, day out, you're like, oh, like I just have legendary on here. And what am how am I going to compete with these whales? I'm telling you how you're going to compete with these whales. You're going to go out and you're going to be a free-to-play. And just one day you're going to go out there and you might have only like 1 billion kill points, maybe 1.5, maybe 2 if you're lucky. But you're going to go out there and you're going to start smashing marches. All right? Because these other free-to-play people, low spenders out there, are not going to be running this system. I cannot emphasize we are playing a long-term game here, right? It's not like we're just going to pick this up. We're going to play a couple rounds of Gem Blitz, whatever kill time you play on your phone when you got 5 minutes at the doctor's office. No, we play this game for hours, all right? So what we need to do is be focusing on, like, what are we going to get from this if we're putting all these hours in? Like, the end game, you want to have fun. You want to go out with your crew, right? You want to go out there. You want to smash. You want to go back to your alliance. You want to joke around. You want to send memes, right? You want to send feed pics. Whatever it is that you like to do in the game in your free time. Because we have to look at it like there is a lot of downtime in this game. Like KVKs, like, like if you're going in every pop, you're talking like 3 months, and you get maybe, if you're lucky, if it's a highly competitive KVK, maybe a week of fighting, right? But most of the time you're getting 2-3 days of fighting, and that's spread out. It's like we're gonna fight 4 hours here, we're gonna fight 4 hours here. So you have a lot of downtime. So you need to be focused on working towards something. And what we want to do is work towards your 3-4 marches being great. Not just okay, like, hey, I got the Hua William, right? I'm running. I got all legendary gear. I'm getting smashed. No, we want to do the smashing. And this is how we're going to do the smashing, by planning and working towards these goals. All right? So, in the meantime, while you're working towards those armaments, just accumulate these blueprint fragment choice chests. Right? So you're going to get these from your Ceroli, your Ians, like I said. Like, you want to make sure that you do those events. If you're finding that, like, you're doing them and you're only getting the crystal keys, all right, so every week usually there's an event that gives you something, like maybe Shadow Legion, right? Shadow Legion's a great event. It gives you tons of materials, stuff that is going to be very useful. But usually, like, our alliance officers will just fire off. But we're in a position where we could beat Shadow Legion, all right, but we can't beat peer-to-peer. So we want to bend them over. We want to do the spanking. So we're going to keep working towards this. So we're going to keep doing those events, keep accumulating those special chests that you get from Ceroli and Shadow Legion, all that stuff. And just hold on to them for a couple weeks, because maybe you're opening 15 of them at a time, but 30 might be great, because if you open 30, maybe you'll get 3, if you're really lucky, 4 fragment choice chests. So, like, I suggest just holding on to them, because it really sucks when you open them and you only get crystal keys. Like, I love crystal keys. I think they're much better than gold keys. But when you're opening those Soroli chests, you want to see that orange icon pop up when you open it. So hold on to them for like 1 or 2 weeks until you do the next event that's giving those out that week. And then open all those and get your blueprint fragment choice chests. And then we'll be working towards what is the third topic in this series, which is the commanders. So in the meantime, just keep going out there, gather your gems, right? Bling bling, motherfucker. Like, let's get these gems so that we can start accumulating them. Get our unlock every other week when the wheel is, if that's what you want to do. Like, I'm not going to tell you how to play. I'm just telling you my thoughts. So, like, spin it, get your heads from the wheel. But we aren't going to be using universal heads right now. Not at all. We need to play the long-term game. Our commanders that we should have or do have already, they will be good enough for right now, because we're talking a year down the road. So in the meantime, we need to be amassing those heads. Get those blueprint choice chests, because the control in this is the armaments. That is the way the game is controlling the player. We have no control over what we get from armaments, and we don't want to be left out in the cold. And this is how we're going to work towards being at home, all snug like a bug in a rug, all nice and toasty, spooning with our Alliance members. I call Little Spoon. I don't mind if you're Big Spoon. But let's work towards these goals together, and we'll go out and we'll start smashing all these nubs. Thank you. Love you guys.